so glad you guys are here. My name is Megan Marie. I'm the community manager at Crystal Dynamics, working on TombRaidr. Huge TombRaidr fan, so it's very exciting to be here with all you guys. And I also have Adapia here. I hope you guys saw on our social networking sites that Camilla was actually not able to make it today. She was ill. We wish her best. She's fine, right?
Yeah, she's fine. She'll be alright.
So what we're actually going to do is we're still going to give out these awesome art prints based on Camilla's work, which is called The Depths. Quite awesome. But what we're going to do first is we're just going to talk with Ada a bit about Camilla's creative process and offer up some tips about how to get into the art industry and how to market yourself properly. And then afterwards, what we'll do is... So, can you start by talking a little bit about your sister's unique style? I know she's kind of got this East meets West fusion, so what inspires her?
She's really inspired by Japanese storytelling, like clearly manga. When she was young, like I always remember she would watch cartoons all the time, and then when she was around 16 she discovered manga, and then from there she just took manga and just fused her own style. She actually spent a couple of years and just created her own style, just researching and creating that unique style that's hers. It's not just manga, but it's a nice mix of West and East. So.
And it's very iconic. You see her stuff and you know it's her.
It's her.
So that's great.
Sure.
That's a good thing for artists to do right now. As far as the art that she does, she most often tackles pieces of her own design, so characters that are kind of her own creation. So is it hard for her to take on something like Lara Croft or something that's very iconic, or does she find that a fun challenge?
No, she loves it because she's a huge fan of comics and video games and films. So for her, it's actually an honor to get to work on somebody else's character and give her take on that character, because whenever she does art, she just immerses herself in that character. So in a way, like she's putting a lot of herself in that. So it's a wonderful process for her. It's nice to see her. She just gets right in there when she's doing it.
This is our new Lara Croft. So Lara in this new game TombRaidr that is set for fall playfield is actually quite different already. So for her to take a character that's already different and put a new spin on it, it's very unique looking. So what inspired this sort of underwater scene and this image that she came up with?
She wanted to do something like really different. She wanted to portray Lara in a situation that you wouldn't normally see her in. Like you can see that she's not struggling. Like you can see the determination in her face to just like get out of this situation. And actually, like you were saying, like none of the other artists in the series did an underwater scene. So she really wanted to do something unique, not only visually but also in the storytelling of the piece. Because she finds her thing is when you're doing any piece of art, even a single piece, you want to tell a story in one hand.
Because it's not like it's not super scary that she's trapped underwater. It's kind of showing that determination of her reaching for the surface. So I'm a fan of it. So you said that each panel has to tell a story. Is that kind of what starts Camilla's creative process? Is that the first step she takes? What's that process like for her?
Yeah, when she's doing a single image, whether that's a digital piece or even just a painting, she takes it as storytelling in one shot. Like she does her sequential work in comics, so she can tell a story over a lot of panels. But the same interpretation for one piece, she does the same amount of research. She does tons and tons of research online, a lot of books. So she probably pulled out any kind of references that she had, and she just works on that. Like the preparation before the piece is probably 5 to 10 times as long as drawing the actual piece. And then this was digitally colored, so she uses Photoshop to do that. So depending on her process, but in general, like the research she does, like I said, she really immerses herself in that character, in their world before doing.
Is that true of her original pieces too? Is the research phase always the?
Yeah, she's got a couple of computer screens, and she just got all the images and art books and stuff pasted on her wall in her studio. She just surrounds herself visually with as many images as possible. And the way I see it as being an outsider, she just somehow absorbs it all, and then it comes back out in her own style.
Very cool. So what kind of tips would you offer? Do we have any budding artists in the house? It's Comic-Con, we have to. What kind of tips would you have for people who are looking to break into making their name as an artist?
I think the best advice I can give you is to show up. Like, come to a convention like this, go talk to the publishers, talk to people, even people like me. Like, we're always looking for artists or colorists or letterers or writers, because I can maybe find you online, like a publisher can maybe find you online, an editor, but if you come to me and show me your work with your enthusiasm and your take on it, it's so much more powerful than trying to be found. Like, social media is super important and you want to do that for yourselves, but really the best promotion you can do is just promoting yourself. So if you're excited about your work, I'm going to get excited about your work, and that's true for any publisher, editor, or artist that's looking for a collaborator or even a writer.
Enthusiasm is definitely contagious. If you believe in yourself and you get that across, then it's contagious. And you mentioned social media. You obviously do a very good job of helping brand and market your sister. So how important is that to kind of her brand as a whole?
It's really important. Because nowadays, if you're talking to a publisher or manufacturer, you want to be able to show them that you have an audience, like a built-in audience. And so this just comes from being able to communicate with people online. Like, sometimes you might think that social media can be maybe like a bit overwhelming or scary, but all it is just talking to people, and then you're building that relationship online. And then if you're coming to a convention like this and then you're meeting people, you're just cementing that relationship, and you're just enlarging your network. But when you're talking to people, you can say, hey, I've got like these friends and these comments, and it's really just kind of showing them that you've got people that really like your work, and that it is really important to do that, because it's a way of networking. It's a way of showing that you've got what it takes to really go out there, because you can't just be good at art. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. You've got to really believe in it.
Actually quite happy that we were able to snag Camilla for this piece, because I know she's got a lot of stuff going on right now. So what are some of the projects that she's working on aside from helping us with our 15-year celebration?
Well, she'll always, like, even though she's like super busy all the time, like when something like this does come up, she can find time for it. And I would really suggest that if something comes along that you know can get you a lot of exposure, even if it doesn't necessarily pay well, it's worth doing, because you have to calculate the value that doing work for other people can bring you. Right now, apart from when she did this, she's working on her self-published series Tampopo. We actually have that up on Kickstarter because we're putting it into hardcover books, and we're looking for funding so she can continue it. Her own video game is coming out next month. It's Sky Pirates of Neoterra, and that's going to be a Facebook game and an iPhone game as well. So she's been doing a lot of work on that, and it's kind of unannounced, but we're going to be doing a Helmet Girls graphic novel. So she's going to finally, everybody's been asking for it, there will be a Helmet Girls graphic novel.
That's great to hear. If you guys aren't familiar with her work, you should definitely check out the Helmet Girls series. It's amazing, one of my favorites of Camilla's. So